We're so excited that you're here with us today. This is wonderful. When I was looking at folks that were signed up, first I think Zoom is definitely here to stay because this is probably one of our largest virtual events that we have had in the last few years. So we're really excited to have you all with us. Even more excitingly, you are from all over. We are going global with this. It's very exciting to me that this is a global event. We have folks here from obviously across the United States, 12 different states, as far away as California. Can't get much further than PA from than California unless you're from another country. And we have folks that signed up from Singapore, from various regions in India, which is amazing, and somebody that signed up from Sao Paulo, Brazil. So I think it's pretty exciting that you all found us here at Brandywine. A little tidbit, Brandywine is the second most diverse campus in the Penn State system. So I think you're within really great company. We have a lot of wonderful international students that come to us, and we have their flags flying proudly all over our campus. In addition, a few other exciting things that just happen to be going on at Brandywine. One is the refurbishing and building of a brand new Student Academic Success Center. We had one in the library, and now we're making it into a much, much larger space, much more welcoming for lots more students to get any assistance that they might need, like tutoring and anything else that you can think of that you will need help with your academics, because our main goal is for you all to be very, very successful. And finally, for those of you that are either athletes or you love to watch sporting events and you like to be a spectator, we are finishing out our exploratory year in going Division III with the NCAA, and we will be starting our provisional year in the United East Conference starting next year. So that is super duper exciting. So we've got lots to cover for you tonight. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of your questions answered. If you need anything else or you log off and you say, oh, I wish I would have asked that question, reach out to us. We're always here to help you. It's a wonderful community. We are really like a family here at Brandywine. That family will be made all the more better with all of you joining us. So we are super excited for you. So again, welcome, congratulations, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much, Nicola. So like Nicola mentioned, there are so many great benefits, things happening on campus at Brandywine. So we just want to highlight a few of those with you tonight. So we are a small campus community. We enroll about 1,250 students, but we have the reach of a large Big Ten institution. So our students have access to the same career and internship resources. They get the same Penn State diploma and the same name recognition when they go out and try to find a job in the career force. So they are getting that attention of a smaller campus with that reach of a large campus or a large Big Ten institution. We really pride ourselves on our personalized academics. So like Nicola mentioned, we do provide free and peer and professional tutoring for our students, and no matter what classes that you may need help with. You always know, right, what schools are prioritizing by where they're putting their money. And we are set to open our brand new Student Success Center in our Viro building over spring break. So when our students return from spring break, the access will be there, and you'll be one of the first classes to get a full experience for a full year. Our average class size is about 25, and we really prioritize students being able to access our professors, getting that time. So we carve out an hour called Common Hour every day for our students, and that's a time for them to meet with their professors, to meet with their clubs, things like that. So it is the most popular time on campus for students. If you're ever on a campus tour, that noon to 1 time is the best time to explore. When it comes to personalized attention and academics, if you're someone coming from one of those international countries, they are multilingual and international supports are there for you. We have disability resources. So if you are someone who may need accommodations at the college level, we get that one-on-one attention with our disability resources coordinator, Elizabeth Parrott, right on our campus. Opportunities for campus involvement. So I will let you know, I am a Penn State alum, and I attended all 4 years at the University Park campus. We have students on our campus in their first and their second year who are doing things and in leadership roles, with um, performing research with faculty members, which is unheard of on a bigger campus. So whether they are staying on our campus for all 4 years or doing the 2+2 program, they're going to University Park or staying on our campus and getting those leadership experiences, that you just don't get when you're on a large campus, in your first and your second year. So that's something we also really pride ourselves on. Like Nicola mentioned, diversity is really important and something that Penn State Brandywine is one of the pillars of our campus. So about 50% of our students identify as an underrepresented population, and about 40% of our students identify as first generation. So the supports are there, and the support system in students that identify as first population or first generation are there, if that is something that you identify as. We are the second most at Penn State, a diverse Penn State campus, like Nicola mentioned. And you can see this on campus where we celebrate so many cultural events, and we have many cultural-based student organizations, if that's something that you also pride yourself on. I know we just celebrated our Lunar New Year. Earlier this year, we hosted a Southeast Asian wedding on campus. We're obviously in the heart of or finishing up Black History Month, so we had lots of amazing events on campus for those. So that's something that if that's important to you, then that you can find a home here at Penn State Brandywine. Then you have options for your Penn State journey. So with our 14 majors, you can stay on our campus all 4 years to complete your degree. But we also offer the access to over 275 Penn State majors through the 2+2 program. So whether you are just here for the cost savings, which we'll talk about in a minute, or you fall in love with the Brandywine campus along the way, the option to stay and really personalize your own Penn State journey along the way is something that Brandywine can afford you the opportunity to do. When it comes to cost savings, on the screen here you can see our in-state and out-of-state tuition. That was one of the big pre-submitted questions, right? What is tuition? So room and board is the same on all of our campuses, and we have someone from housing here tonight to tell you all about the residence halls that we have on our campus and the food options that we have for our students. But you can see the full cost savings for when compared to 4 years at University Park. So wherever you fall within there, and you can see that even larger cost savings that you can afford yourself and your families by choosing to commute to campus, if that is an option for you for your first 2 years. That's a cost savings of about $25,000. Cool. So next steps for accepted students, right? You have your acceptance in hand, and we're going to make it official, right? So once you are ready, you're going to accept your offer of admission on your My Penn State portal. This is the next step for any student who is ready to officially commit to Penn State. That entails paying your enrollment deposit in your housing contract and housing deposit, if you plan to live on campus. If you don't plan to live on campus, excuse me, then you'll decline your housing. You'll let us know that at that time as well. And then make connections. So we have a 2024 accepted student Facebook page that all accepted students should have received some kind of communication about. And if you haven't, I can share that link with you tonight. But it's a great place to post if you're looking for a roommate, if you're just trying to meet some friends before you arrive to campus. And a lot of students have already taken advantage of that. Once you accept that offer of admission, then we are excited to welcome you to our new student orientation process this summer. You're going to look out for an email from orientation@psu.edu. Your new student task list will open in mid-March. And you can schedule your new student orientation starting in April. So new student orientation is a process where we welcome you to campus. You'll be able to meet with your advisor, to schedule courses, and get the feel of what it's like to be a Penn State student on campus. We also encourage you to visit us in person, right? This is an amazing experience for us to connect right in your living room or, while you're in the car on your way home from a sporting event. But you really get the feel and the vibe of campus when you're here. So we hope that if you have the opportunity that you will come visit us to meet some more of our current students, our faculty members, and those opportunities are through our accepted student programs in person, which we offer two on Saturdays in March 16th and April 6th. Or schedule a campus tour where you get to schedule or walk around campus and get the full tour with one of our student line ambassadors. So we had so many pre-submitted questions that we really want to spend the bulk of this time together answering the things that are important to you. So we do have we're welcoming panelists from our academic advising office, financial aid, housing and food service, student affairs, and we have a current student with us as well. So we'll welcome them to the Zoom now. If you have questions that you weren't able to pre-submit, we're going to start with some of those pre-submitted questions. There's a lot of heavy hitters in there. If you have any questions that you're thinking of right now, you can use the Q&A Zoom function, and we'll be able to answer them in person on Zoom, or one of our other admissions counselors, Carrie Burton, is here with us, and she's me answering those questions in that Zoom in the Q&A as we go. Okay, so we got all of our panelists here. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. So we're going to start with the question that was asked the most, and I'm going to throw it over to Robin Pettiford from our financial aid office. Robin, when can we expect financial aid packages or any scholarships that students may have awarded? We know there's the FAFSA delay this year, but what is Penn State's response to that, and when can we expect those packages?
Sure. As of right now, packages are scheduled to go out mid-March. So you can expect to see those no later than the third week of March, which will show you what financial aid you have been awarded. Also, in reference to the scholarships, I know there's a question that can you get additional scholarships? That package will show any internal scholarships that you're scheduled to receive. If for some reason you see that you did not receive a scholarship, you can feel free to call my office, and then we can take a look at you manually for any of our internal scholarships.
Perfect. Thanks, Robin. So we're going to throw it over now to the other most popular question that we received, and that's Robin Stokes of our academic advising office. Robin, how does the 2+2 program work? Is it really automatic transition to University Park after your second year?
Well, you know, Penn State Brandywine and all the campuses used to be just 2+2 back in the day. It's not necessarily automatic. When you come to orientation, we have 7 orientation dates this summer. You'll review your top 3 majors with an academic advisor at orientation. And depending on we have 14 majors here, but depending on the major that you want to be in a position to be a rising junior. So typically, University Park requires the first 2 years, your first year and second year, completed at a campus. Some of you have had questions about AP credits and can I get up there sooner? If you're taking AP courses through high school, that's awesome. Make sure you take the AP test because you need to have a certain minimum score for the AP test in order to get college credit for Penn State. And we'll look at what your major requires and what AP credits you've completed towards those requirements. In some cases, students are choosing majors that they have to be up there in their 4th semester, like turf grass management or chemical engineering. But the majority of the majors up at University Park are 2+2, meaning your first 2 years with us, and then you would be a rising junior up at University Park. So depending on how many credits you've completed towards your major, and also you have to meet the entrance to major requirements. So for example, if I'm heading towards mechanical engineering up at the mothership, I have to complete certain courses. I have to have calculus 1, calculus 2, physics, chemistry, etc. Before I'm able to declare my major and then change campuses as a rising junior.
Perfect. Thanks, Robin. We have a lot of questions about the 2+2. So if you have other questions that Robin didn't hit,
Sure.
please put them in the Q&A and we can get to them at some point today. We want to make sure you get all of your questions about that because it is a different process than most universities have. To piggyback off of that, though, our current student, Alyssa, you plan on transitioning to University Park to complete your Penn State degree. Can you tell us about like what went into your decision and what your experience so far with that process has been like?
So as in what went into my decision, I can actually complete my major at Brandywine, but I just needed a change of campus. So I decided to transition to University Park. So far my experience has been, very simple, very easy. Brandywine has a lot of great resources, specifically designed to help students with their transition to a different campus. We have like 2+2 workshops. We also have a program called Link UP, which familiarizes students with like professors at University Park, as well as like tours them around the campus. So it really is a simple process. All of our faculty and staff are very familiar with students transitioning. So you should not be worried at all about having difficulties.
Can I just interject too? The best thing you can do to make sure that you are ready is see your academic advisor once a semester. Great time to do that would be right around Halloween at the end of October. And again, right before April Fool's Day, end of March, to make sure you're taking the courses you need each semester to prepare you for all the different majors that you're interested in, whether it's going up to University Park or entering your major here at Brandywine.
Well, awesome. That was a really, really full answer. So thank you for that. And then, so we've had some questions about student housing. So living on campus. So Sean, what is student housing like? And can you choose a roommate if you plan to live on campus?
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I am Sean Riley from Housing and Food Services. So student housing, we have the one building on campus, which is called Orchard Hall. It is 4 floors. There are 270 spaces in Orchard Hall. So it is very popular. It is in demand. Last year we ran out of housing middle of April. So the sooner you decide to come to Brandywine, the more likely you are to have a space in Orchard Hall. Regarding roommates, yes, you can pick your roommate, and those preferences are due May the 20th. So you can update if you meet somebody along the way at one of our accepted student days. If you know somebody from the Facebook page, you can update that in eLiving, which is our housing site. You and your roommate would just select each other, and that is a mutual request. It makes my job a lot easier when I do assignments early in June. But we also can do random roommates as well, and they are completely random. Basically, when I do them, all I look at is your birth date. So it's somebody with your same age. It won't be somebody necessarily within your major or from the same state or anything like that. It is a completely random match, and either option, we've had great success with those.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
So keeping with the theme of like being on campus, so Gary, what is campus safety and security like on the Brandywine campus?
Sure. Thanks, Alyssa. Campus security, we're a safe campus. We are we're the best of both worlds. We're about 20 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia, but you wouldn't tell that by our campus community. We're pretty suburban. On campus, we do have university police on campus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. At any given time, we have 1 or 2 officers on active patrol around campus. We are very close. Our university police works closely with local law enforcement officers in and around the media area. We also have blue lights on campus and a campus escort program at night. So we are, by and large, a really safe campus for our size and location. So yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Yes. So another plug to come to campus. We are about 20 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. But you would not know that by being on our campus. Our students like that you can go to the city for concerts, sporting events, things like restaurants, but then you come back and you're on our super quiet campus, really peaceful, beautiful campus. So we're gonna come back to a tuition financial aid question. So Robin Patterford, if so does tuition change when you transfer to University Park, or change as you progress through your time at Penn State Brandywine?
Tuition does change when you go to University Park. If you were looking to see what that change is, you would go on our website to tuition.psu.edu. On there, you're able to choose whether you are a PA resident or non-PA resident, what semester you're attending, and then you're able to select the campus. When you select the campus, it will give you the tuition costs, and it's broken down per credit. The first freshman year and sophomore year, your tuition is basically the same. It changes when you become a junior and senior. So it does increase your last 2 years.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin. Your junior and your senior year is really when you're in the heart of your major courses, right? The first 2 years of lots of our majors look pretty similar with those general ed courses, which is how Penn State justifies that tuition increase for your third and your fourth year. So coming back to academic advising and career services, Robin, that falls under you as well. The question is, are there internships available for students at the Brandywine campus?
Oh, yes. We're going to actually have our spring career quest week in March. And I was just looking over, we actually have alumni and professionals talking to different cohorts of students, whether they're English, corporate comm majors, engineering, IST, etc. And I looked over career services email I just got last week about all the opportunities in March, that students actually get a connect email each week from career services. We have opportunities that are listed currently at Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Amazon, small companies, larger companies. Students can actually go to a variety of different campuses. I think Abington's career fair was today or tomorrow that our students are invited to. We'll have a career fair in the fall. And we actually have faculty in each of our 14 majors who are part of a coordinating committee for internships and mock interviews, pre-internship classes where students learn how to write their resumes, interviewing skills, using our Nittany Line recruiting system to find out regional or state-related or across the United States opportunities, whether it's internships or part-time jobs or full-time jobs as graduating seniors. So yes, there's lots of opportunities, university-wide.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin. So we're going to come back to student affairs. And Gary, are there active clubs on campus? If so, can you give some examples of some clubs that are really popular for students?
Sure. We have over, I think the last count, we were somewhere around the number of 85 active clubs and organizations on campus. We have everything from the traditional Student Government Association, our campus programming group called Beast. We have Brandywine Benefiting Thon, which participates in Penn State Thon every year, which was really successful this past year. We have different campus affinity groups. We have a Black Student Union, a Bangladeshi Student Association, a Muslim Student Association. We have Brandywine Leagues and Tournaments, which is all about doing different intramurals and games and tournaments for students. We have the Anime Club, lots of clubs and organizations. And if there isn't a club organization that really, that you're really into, or if you have an idea for a club and organization, it's really easy to start one on campus. All you need to do is gather 4 or 5 students that are interested in forming the club, meet with student affairs, and we can get you started down the path of forming a club and getting moving. Each year at the start of each semester, both fall and spring semester. We have an involvement fair where all the clubs and organizations that are registered set up tables and recruit students to these clubs. So as a new student to campus, you will get to see what we have and meet some of the club officers and see some of the things they're up to. Alyssa has been involved with lots of clubs and organizations on our campus, and she was one of our Penn State Tom dancers this past year. So definitely lots of experiences with that as well. So there is not a lack of things to do on and around campus.
Also, do you want to tell us more about your experiences, about being active in clubs and Thon this year?
Yeah, so by far, I think being involved on an array of different clubs has been my favorite part of being a student at Brandywine. Currently, I am actively involved and have leadership roles in 3 different clubs, but I've had a number of opportunities and activities that I've done over my 3 years here. It really gives you a sense of community. I like pretty much all the faculty and staff on this panel. I have formed great relationships through these clubs. I can't walk from class to class without saying hi to at least like 5 different people. So it definitely is worth it. And 100% I would advocate for getting involved at any Penn State campus, but especially Brandywine.
Yes, we're absolutely gonna miss Alyssa on our campus when she leaves us next year. So yeah, that if you have any other specific clubs that you're wondering about, you can throw them into the Q&A. But Gary and Alyssa did a great job of covering many. I didn't even know we were up to 85. That's amazing. All of our student organizations. Cool. So we're gonna come back to housing now, and actually switch to the food service side of it. So there were some questions, Sean, about what food options are available on campus. And this student specifically is asking, will they be able to eat on campus if they have a food allergy, like a peanut allergy?
Yeah, so good question. So our food at campus dining is called the Blue Apple Cafe, and it is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. Of course, during the week, we open at 7:30 in the morning for breakfast. We have lunch, we have dinner. We are open on the weekends as well, typically from 11 to 6:30 on Saturday and 11 till 8 on Sunday. But there are 5 stations. There's our chef's table, which is basically the hot item of the day. We have a 3-week cycle menu where you're getting something different basically every week, and that rotates for the 3 weeks. There is On a Roll, which is our deli and salad station. There is All Fired Up, which is pizza and pasta. There is the Flippin' Station, which is our grill. So any meal you can go in there and get your cheesesteaks, your hamburgers, your hot dogs, all that stuff is always available, as well as your wraps and your deli and your salads. Shake, Bake, and Brew is our Starbucks station, which is very popular on campus for all your Starbucks drinks in the mornings, your milkshakes, all that is available for you. The second part of the question was about food allergies, and we do work with a registered dietitian at University Park that helps prepare all the meals. You'll see all the menu cards when you get on campus, what allergies are in what things. We have done gluten-free diets, we've done halal diets, we've done kosher. So any questions you have like that, the best thing to do is foodallergies.psu.edu is get in touch with them and let them know what you need, and we can certainly work with you with whatever you need on that.
Sean, a question just came in as you were responding. Can students who commute eat on campus? So, or is it just for residential students?
Yeah, so you can. We have 3 options for it's called a commuter meal plan. So there's a $250, a $500, or a $1,000 meal plan level. And there's also, if you're not sure you're ready to commit to that $250 level, you can do what we call Lion Cash. You can add $20, $40, $60, whatever you would like to do. We do not take cash in the Blue Apple Cafe, which is a question we've got before. We are cashless. So everything is on your Penn State ID. If you're living on campus, you have a meal plan. There's 3 levels. All your dining dollars go right on there. And the good news with that, everything is 65% off. So anything we prepare, like your pizza, your hoagie, your salads, all that 65% off. Lion Cash is a 10% discount, which is still a discount on stuff we make in-house. Only thing that aren't discounted are things like your Starbucks, your creamery ice cream, anything with a barcode, things like that. But absolutely, you can always add Lion Cash. We can take cash downstairs in our housing office, which is right next to the bookstore in the student union building. And online with a credit card, you can do it at any time. You can add funds to your line cash.
Cool. And short plug that, yes, you heard that. We do sell creamery ice cream on our campus.
Yes.
So
Very popular. Yes, we do.
yes, it is.
Mhm.
Awesome. Great questions. So we're gonna come back to the student affairs and Gary again. So is there parking on campus? And then we've had a lot of questions in the chat as well, or in the Q&A about like public transportation. What is that like in the area? If you wanted to take that one.
Yes, you can park on campus. Parking on campus, I believe, is free. All you will need to do is register your car within the first couple of weeks at University Police, and you'll get a parking tag. I believe you can even do that prior to coming to campus. I think you just go to parking.psu.edu, and I believe that is where you can register your car, and you'll get your pass when you come to campus. In terms of public transportation, we do have 2 bus routes that come to campus that are part of SEPTA, the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. So it's a local public transportation system in the southeastern part of PA. Those 2 buses can get you to some central hubs that can get you to other sections of the city and other parts of the lower part of the state. It takes a little bit of time because it is public transportation, so there's not a direct route right into the city of Philadelphia or a direct route over to Abington, but you can plan it out, and with a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, you can get to where you need to go. We do, obviously, if you want to use Uber and Lyft, those have been popular with students to get in and around some of the areas. In case it has been asked or the question will be asked, we currently do not have a shuttle on campus to take folks to local places. That is something that Student Affairs and Student Government Association and the campus has been thinking about and talking about. There's just a number of things that we need to step through to make sure we're able to do that.
Cool. And the other question, Gary, really fast, that just came in is there a way for students, like an campus shuttle? So like, do Brandywine students ever get bused to University Park for anything?
Yeah, we will occasionally run bus trips to other campuses for different things. Typically in the fall, we'll do a bus trip up to a football game up at University Park. Now those tickets are limited, so you do have to pay attention to when tickets go on sale, get in line, that type of thing. We will also do a bus trip occasionally. We'll do another bus trip up to University Park for the Link UP program for 2+2 students. We've done a bus trip over to Penn State Abington for their career fair, since they're fairly close to us. And we'll do it for other events at other campuses where there seems to be a broader appeal, or it's a wider appeal. We also do bus trips to different locations, or van trips to different locations in and around the city. We have done van trips up to Philadelphia to like the Franklin Institute, or to a Phillies game or a Sixers game. We've done it down to Linville Orchards for pumpkin picking and apple picking. We've gone to Longwood Gardens. A couple of weeks ago, we did a bus trip up to New York City to see Hamilton. So there's a number of different trips that we do, both to other campuses and other areas.
Perfect. Thank you. Robin Stokes. So question coming in about, is there a way, if they wanted to find the current curriculum for like mechanical engineering specifically, or another one of our majors, is there a place that we could find that centrally?
Yes, you can go to bulletins, that's plural, bulletins.psu.edu. We actually show students how to look at this during new student orientation. But once you get into the undergraduate section of the bulletins, you can go by academic college. So for example, mechanical engineering is in, awesome. Thank you. Mechanical engineering is in the College of Engineering. So you click on undergraduates. Once you get to the bulletins, you click on college or engineering. And then on the right, all the colleges have the same list of majors. How do I get into the major? What is the suggested academic plan of that major? You can also look at the bulletin by campus. So if you want to look at Brandywine majors, you can just go into the bulletins by campus, undergraduate by campus, and then look at the majors, and you'll get that same link of how do I get into the major, all the majors that are available, what are the requirements to graduate. Moms and dads usually like the link for career paths. What can I do? What can my baby do when he or she graduates from engineering, from mechanical engineering? So it's really intuitive. And we make sure at orientation, we teach students how to read the bulletin, how to find their program requirements, how to enter different majors, and then the suggested academic plan. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And then we have a few more questions related to financial aid for Robin Pettiford. So are scholarships issued in the first year renewable for the other 3 years as well? We'll start with that one, and then I have a second question for you.
Well, we have different types of scholarships. Some are renewable, and some are not. Some are 1 year, depending on what you receive. Some are 2 years. And we also have donor-related scholarships that they also specify, whether it could be 1 year. We do have like the Provost Award, which is 4 years. So it really depends on the actual scholarship you receive. So if you do receive that scholarship, you can feel free to stop in financial aid, and I can tell you how long you can receive the scholarship and how much, because some of them do increase over the years. But feel free to stop in and we can talk about the scholarship and the benefit of the scholarship.
Perfect. And then our second question is for families that may not be able to complete the FAFSA or are choosing not to. Will they still receive a financial aid package, or how does that work?
Yes, if you do not do the FAFSA, you will receive a financial aid package. It would just consist of what the tuition cost is, and if the student is living on campus, it will also have the housing information. In the case where you're not going to complete a FAFSA, but you do want to be reviewed for an internal scholarship, at that point, you can send me an email, or you can visit the office. And then, as I said before, we can manually look at you for any of our internal scholarships. Some of the scholarships do require a FAFSA because they are need-based, and we need to determine what your need is based off of your FAFSA. So though you may not qualify for the need-based scholarship, you could qualify for those that are GPA driven.
Perfect. Thanks, Robin. So we have kind of a fun question. We said we have lots of students from out of state and internationally. So Alyssa, you're from the area. You've been on campus 3 years now. What is the weather like in the area for students who may be coming from out of state or internationally?
Yeah, so kind of in southeastern Pennsylvania, we really get a taste of all 4 seasons here. So I'll speak about winter as we're kind of in the middle of it. It does get pretty cold here. It really depends year to year on snowfall. This year we did have a couple snow days. So if you're planning on coming on campus, I would be prepared for some snow. And then spring and fall, they're, usually pretty temperate, I guess. And then summer, it doesn't get too hot. There are a few days that, it can get a little warm, but it's usually pretty mild in the summers.
Perfect. Yep. All 4 seasons. Be prepared for that. You should bring your winter coat. Someone from Miami said, do I need a winter coat? Yes, you should. You will need a winter coat. Sean, so for students that are planning to live on campus and sign their housing contract, when are students expected to arrive to the residence halls, and how are they communicated with about that?
Yep. And just for the record, snow or no snow, the Level Cafe does not close. We are still open, even if it is a snow day for the university. You can still go over and have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, okay, and this is hot off the press breaking news tonight. Arrival day is Friday, August the 23rd for our first year students. Typically, if you're going to work in the Blue Apple Cafe and you've been hired over the summer, you can come in a couple days earlier because you'll have training and you usually work that first weekend. Sometimes our fall athletes will come in a little early, soccer, because they'll start training and practices. That's usually a couple of days early. Then that usually coaches will tell you about that one. And in the past, we have done an arrival system. So you basically tell us what day and time you're looking to arrive, and you can do it right on our housing site, which is eliving.psu.edu. That was one thing that we kept from COVID to keep students kind of apart. So not everyone comes at the same time. There's not as many parking issues we had in the past. So basically every half-hour increment, there'll be like 10 students moving in. That way, more blue bins for everybody and less, a more orderly process. And another thing we're excited about this year in housing, no more keys in the fall. So all the students are going to get their ID. Your access is going to be on there. You'll just tap your ID on your door like you do at a hotel or Disney World, and you'll get right into your door. So no more lost keys and lost key fees. And the fall will be the first time you have that. So all the sensors are going to be done over the summer and ready to go for August the 23rd.
I know that's super exciting and a huge project for you guys. So awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you talked a little about athletes being able to come early. So Gary, some students were asking if they are still interested in playing a sport on our campus, being a part of our athletic program. Can they still do that? Is it too late?
Yeah, I believe that, our athletics program does have a pretty active recruiting season, so I know they are recruiting. But I also know that any student, they are always open to walk-ons and to students expressing interest in playing a sport. I think your best bet is if that's something that's interest of you or something you want to do, I would reach out to the athletics director, Bobby Caprice, or Maisha Matos, who is our recruiting coordinator in athletics. Let them know that you're interested, and they can start setting you up with maybe talking to you, talking about your interests, maybe connecting you with a coach and those type of things.
Perfect. I know we're throwing out a lot of names at you, lots of things. So we're actually gonna put up when we get to the end here, we're gonna give you our general admissions email, which is just BW admissions. We can also help connect you to any office on campus, any faculty, any specific people that we might have mentioned tonight. So we'll definitely take care of you if you have any questions when you hear. Cool. Robin Pettiford, I think this is a question for you. And if it's not, then somebody else can jump in. But do we have a veteran affairs contact on campus? So to help with the like GI Bill or things like that when it comes to paying tuition for veterans?
Yes, I am the VA certifying official on campus. So if you are going to use your VA benefits, you can reach out to me. What we require is that you have to have your certificate of eligibility and your DD 214 if it applies. There is a process where you would have to complete a enrollment form each semester. And that's what we use to certify you each semester so that your tuition is being paid. So yes, we do have chapter 33 students, chapter 35, chapter 30, chapter 1606. So yes, we do those benefits, and we do it pretty quickly. So as long as you do your part as far as filling out the enrollment each semester, your tuition will be paid if you are chapter 33 and using 100% of benefit or less.
Awesome. Thank you. Lots of good questions still coming in. Sean, I have one for you. Is there any website or resource that helps students find housing options if you want to live close to campus but off-campus housing?
Off campus, I don't have any great resources. They're not run by Penn State, but if you look on our housing site, it's liveon.psu.edu. I think there is a section on there for off-campus housing. There's a couple of places we've dealt with in the past. Students have lived there before, but it's nothing to do with Penn State, and we don't control the amount of rent they charge you or things like that. But Student Affairs is probably a better office for that, but that is a popular question we do get from students. The area is kind of expensive for off campus, and there aren't a lot of great options. That's why living in Orchard Hall is very popular.
Thank you. And then we're going to come back to you, Robin Stokes. How easily do credits transfer from a community college or from other college credits that you may have?
I actually used to work at Harrisburg Area Community College for about 10 years, 2 schools ago. So we are really interested in making sure that students' prior credits transfer easily. It really depends on the course that you've had and whether or not that course, the stuff that's covered in the syllabus in your course at, say, Montgo or DCCC or CCP. If the course content is similar to the course content of the class at Penn State. So when you are looking at when I'm with my advisees, we can go on to their Line Path page, which is their student information hub, and we can look at transfer credits, and there's a transfer equivalency tool that will tell us, for example, that math 140 at this school is equivalent to math 110 at Penn State. And sometimes there are some, there's so many colleges and universities across the United States. Penn State has not evaluated all of them. So sometimes you might have a course hasn't even been reviewed, or sometimes a course is not equivalent. I know there's a question in the Q&A about if I did prior research, can I get credit for that? And transferability of credits is based on the syllabus for a 1, 2, or 3 credit class, most frequently a 3 or 4 credit class. However, if you have undergraduate research experience, that's a wonderful time for you to start crafting your resume and working with our career services coordinator on campus. Sometimes you can get life credit for that to help you secure internship opportunities. But by and large, a research experience, whether it's Penn State or another school, might not be for credit. And some undergraduate credit, like some research, is for credit. So you have to think about my career plans, and is my undergraduate research giving me a leg up on my career plans for the future? And is it required to have undergraduate credit at Penn State or not? So that's a wonderful question for an individual advising appointment, either at incoming, transfer, new student orientation, or once you arrive on campus with your academic advisor in your major.
Perfect. Thank you. So there are some admissions related questions coming in that I would love to answer. So one of them is there an enrollment fee waiver? We do provide enrollment fee waivers. The thing about that is that we do need your it's a need based, and we do need the FAFSA information in order to process that waiver for you. So we need your FAFSA to be completed. And then once that information starts to get to us in March, we'll be able to waive your fee based on that information at that time. If you have any other questions, reach out to us and we can help you with that process. But yeah, unfortunately, our hands are kind of tied until we get that FAFSA. And then someone else asked, what is meant by accepting your offer? Do you have to pay a fee? And yes, so accepting your offer, you're going to go onto your My Penn State portal, and that's where you applied, many of you, right? That's where you manage, which where your decision was posted. So on there, there's me an offer button that says accept my offer of admission. So you click that button, and there's a $230 enrollment fee. That is what we were just discussing with the fee waiver. The only way we can waive that fee is through that FAFSA and that financial information. So there's also $100 housing deposit for students who are choosing to live on campus to save your spot for you. So that is something that you would pay at that time as well. So when you go to officially accept your offer, you're going to want to know whether you would like to live on campus or not. Like Sean mentioned, last year we were on a wait list by April. So Sean, can you talk a little bit about what it means to be on a wait list? And if you do find yourself on the wait list, what are your options?
Yeah, so we make right now our upper class students are already on a wait list. We hold a certain amount of student spaces for upper class students and then for first year students. So first year students, we did get quite many students off the wait list. April 24th, I think, was the day we started the wait list. And of course, arrival is not until the end of August. So those 4 months, if a student changes their mind, they decide not to live on campus, there is what's called a transfer obligation. Basically, it's $100. It transfers your spot to someone that's on the wait list. So students that have a contract and want to get out of it, they can. And then students from the wait list are taken from that spot. And we have wait lists for both male and female students. Usually the male wait list is longer than the female students, but just because you end up on the wait list doesn't mean you won't get a spot. But if you decide now you want to hold a spot, you can change your mind later. That's when the $100 comes in place, or you can get your spot from the wait list.
Awesome, thank you. So our questions are dwindling down here. If you have anything else, make sure you're putting it in the Q&A. Robin, I'm gonna come to you. I know this isn't all Robin Stokes. This isn't more about curriculum. So how does enrollment in the honors program differ from like a standard student in terms of like credits and things like that?
In terms of credits, it's not different. And we are one of, I'm not sure how many campuses, Alyssa. We are a Schreier Honors campus.
Yep. There
How
are
many?
8 campuses.
Ah.
Mhm.
But we also have local Cooper Honors on Brandywine that's named after Dr. Cooper, one of our biology faculty members. The honors program allows you to be in smaller classroom sizes. It comes with a scholarship. So students would need to take 9 credits that are designated honors coursework in an academic year. So for example, you might have freshman composition that has an honor section that's just a little smaller than the other freshman composition classes. You'll have an honors advisor as well as an academic advisor in your major. And then looking at career opportunities. And again, what do you want to do with the honors program? But I know the scholarship is really important as well. And then there's actually a gateway process, so students can, in their sophomore year or junior year, apply to the honors program at Schreier or Cooper honors at a later point. Later meaning after admission.
Perfect, thank you. And if you did apply to be a Schreier Honor Scholar, just reminder, Friday is the big day, and they should be sending an email, but March 1st is when those decisions will be posted. The other question, Sean, we're gonna come back to you. Can I choose not to have a roommate?
Good question. Most of our rooms, I would say a good majority, 95% are double rooms, which is 2 students per room. We have a few triple rooms. If you're interested in that, that's 3 students per room. The housing rate does go down with those. But for single rooms, we don't have those available except for medical accommodations. And if that's something that you think you have, there is a form that gets filled out for any accommodations for a single room, for emotional support animal, for a second a fridge in the room, anything like that. Those go to University Park. The doctor up there reviews those, and it tells if it's approved or denied. But it is a very long form. Right now, we have 6 single rooms in Orchard Hall for medical conditions. So it is possible to get one, but just not because you want one. It's only because you need one. Does that make sense?
Yes, perfect. So are Schreier students at Brandywine picked from a pool of Brandywine applicants, or is it a pool out of everyone who applied in all campuses? Robin Stokes, I don't know if you can answer that. If not, I can take a stab at it. So the Schreier program is one of the most competitive programs that you can apply to at Penn State. If you want to take that one, Robin.
I think Carrie's actually doing it.
Oh, okay, perfect. My understanding of the Schreier process, and Carrie will answer this as well, is that they're not going to look at what campus that you're admitted to. It is truly they're basing it off of those essays that you wrote and a little bit of your academic profile. But they're just going to choose the students that they think fits their profile the best. And those are the students, no matter what campus that you are applying to or have applied to. Yeah. So a student at Brandywine has the same opportunity of being in the Shire program as a student at University Park or any of our other campuses. Cool. So there's a question now about the FAFSA. Robin Pettiford, can international students complete the FAFSA?
No, international students cannot complete a FAFSA.
Thank you. So that's when you had mentioned earlier, right, those individual scholarships or more private campus-based scholarships for international students?
Yes, yes, a international student can receive an internal scholarship. So if you are not completing the FAFSA, then you would need to let me know that. And what I would do is manually look at you for another type of scholarship that doesn't require a FAFSA on file.
Mm-hmm. And one more that just came in for you. Is there any way to apply to any scholarships at Penn State? Is there anything they need to apply for? Or are you just automatically looked at before financial aid packages come out?
You are automatically looked at Penn State as long as you have that FAFSA on file. Our system is designed to look at you automatically and award you from looking at your FAFSA and also your GPA from your prior high school. So we do not have an application at Penn State for scholarships. And as I said, if you find that after you've gotten your award package that you do not see an internal scholarship, then reach out to me and I will definitely manually look at you for a scholarship. And also, we have a wait list for scholarships that come in thereafter. So please do not hesitate to reach out if you're looking for internal scholarship.
Alyssa, we talked a lot about living on campus tonight, but can you give your experience from a commuter aspect, what that was like for you being a Penn State student?
Yeah, so all 3 years that I've been at Brandywine, I've commuted to campus. So it really, you do get the same experience as a student living on campus, except you just go home at the end of the day. So I know a lot of people tend to feel that they can be disconnected from the campus if they commute, but that's something that being involved on campus really helps with. There were nights when I'm here till 10 o'clock at events and stuff. So there are definitely ways to keep you on campus if you're not living here, but you get the benefit of going home at the end of the night.
Perfect. You kind of answered it as well. My next question was going to be for Gary in terms of like student activities and things like that. Do you find that the commuter students are just as involved in campus as the residential students?
It's really hard for me at times to determine who commuter students are and who residential students are because there are just so many students involved in so many activities on a regular basis. So I don't think there is any sort of disadvantage or advantage if you live on campus versus commuting. I think students are engaged in our clubs and events and attending our activities at the same rate, regardless if they're a commuter student or if they're on campus.
Honestly, it probably says a lot that you can't tell who the commuting students are or residential students are. So thank you. So if you have any other questions, I know we're slowing down with questions here. We won't, drag this out if it doesn't need to be. But I want to share our email with you. So if you leave here tonight, or you think of something that you just need answered, bwadmissions@psu.edu. That will get you one of our admissions counselors, either myself or Carrie, or our nurse counselor, Asia. And we'd be happy to help connect you to a different office or share any of our knowledge with you as well. So BW admissions. I'll also just throw that in the chat really fast. And let me check the Q&A one more time. Make sure that we got everything that we need before we get out here. Perfect. Actually, Sean, there's one more question for you. The emotional support letter. Is there a letter for that and a form? And if so, how does that work?
Yes, it is on the website, the Live On website. You can also email me or us at housingbw@psu.edu. I answer all those emails, typically myself. We do have a team here, but it's me that answers those. And I can send the form to you if you have trouble finding it, or if you just want me to do it for you. Happy to do it. Yes, and the turnaround time, depending on the time of year, usually we find out within a week or so if it's approved or not. And then we reach out to you with my director, Elizabeth, our assistant director, Residence Life, Don, just to go over some guidelines about having a dog in the residence hall. There's some roommate issues to go through, some care issues with the animal to go through as well. But that is, once it gets approved, we'll go through that for you. And also Elizabeth Parrott is our disability coordinator. She'll probably have some questions and kind of help you with the process here as well. But lots of support for those. We have 2 animals that are approved right now in the hall. So not a whole lot of animals, but we have 2 dogs living with us right now, in addition to 267 students. Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Cool. And then one more question coming in about the athletics. I think Carrie just took care of that. Maisha is the person who you're going to want to reach out to. Many of our athletes do commute to campus. I know that from just being on campus and getting to know some of our student athletes. So we thank you all for coming tonight. We thank for our panelists for taking the time out of your night to help answer questions. We covered a lot. But again, if you have questions in the chat, I posted the admissions email and then the one that Sean just referenced, Housing BW. If you have specific housing questions, sending them an email is going to be the best thing. So we look forward to seeing you potentially on campus in the fall or for a new student orientation or soon for our campus tour. But we hope you all have a great night, and please let us know if there's anything else we can do to support you while you make this big decision. Thank you. Have a great night.
It's all over.